Hello everyone, my name is Sachin. Let me give you a brief about myself. I am a chartered accountant and working in one of the leading retail company based in Dubai. Today I am going to show you how to prepare P&L in Power BI. This time I'll be preparing it from the scratch and I'll just show you how to prepare it from the trial balance. So I'll just show you my source data, which something looks like this. Although it never comes in this much simplified information because you can see my P&L lines are already there. There you can see its cost of sale, depreciation, other admin cost, rent, salary and sales. Although in your trial balance you will always get information at the GL level. By GL level, I mean to say at general level, ledger level. So for example, there can be a GL which is for your sales, other is for your discount, sales discount, third is for your sales return. So all these three GLs are clubbed together and then we classify them into P&L line item which is sales. So assuming that activity is already done and we have come to the final P&L line items. I'm keeping the information and the data in very simplified level so that we are conceptually clear in preparing the P&L in Power BI. The next column which I'm showing is my shops, the showroom number 1 and 2 and 3 and so on. There are plenty of the showrooms which are having their own expenses, own revenues. Then the month, country in which we have our footprint and the product which we are selling, the caps, pants, shirt and socks. The yearly information we are having is our current fiscal year, which is your actual, your budget and your last year. So keeping this information at our data dump, I'll simply close it, and in Power BI I will simply pick it. So in this file I am keeping that data. I'll click on it. So here in this preview, in this navigator, it will show from where you want to pick the data. So PL data is the name of the sheet and the PL data without any underscore is the table. This icon shows it is the information or the data coming from a table, and this icon shows it is coming from the sheet. So since I already have the table prepared there, I will click on table and I will select this, and as a practice I never click on the load, I always click on the transform data, which I would suggest you also to do the same. Doing so, you get your information here in this preview in the Power Query. You will see this, all the steps which we apply in the Power Query are being shown on the right side. Here, this change type means you are changing the nature of the column which is having your information. This, whatever the types are applied here, the corresponding M language, this is being known as the M language, is shown here in the formula bar also. So this step got automatically created. As a practice, I never believe on the steps auto created, so I always delete and change the data type of column which I want to change. So here it shows the ABC and 1, 2, 3. It means it can read this column, particular column in text format also. So I will select these columns. I will make into change type into decimal number. I want this column to be read as always number format. So the next step which I'll do here is I'll select all these three columns. I'll click right, I'll right click and I'll click on the unpivot on the selected columns. Doing so, I will have two columns. The headers will come in one column and there will be only one column for the values. So what I mean to say is this. So your header comes into a column and value come in single column. So in the previous step you could see there are three columns of containing the value. Now only one column containing the value. Reason of doing this is now I can create more P&L line items. For example, product margin, the gross profit which you can call, and your shop cost and your net profit. These items never comes in your trial balance. Which of the GLs you classified into your cost, you cannot define that in trial balance. And how the net profit gets computed, that also you cannot define in your trial balance. So for doing so, this step was very much required. You always need to have one column containing the value. So now for computing the calculated rows of P&L line item, I'll select this PL line, which is having your sales and cost of sales and other line items, but not the net profit, not the shop cost, not the gross profit. So for that, I'll select the PL line item. I'll select my value column. I'll click on this transform. I'll click on this pivot column, and I'll click on OK. Doing so, whatever was there in the column has come into header. Your sales column is here, your cost of sale column is here, your admin cost is here, salary, rent, and depreciation. Now I can compute my gross profit, which will be my sales minus cost of sale. But as a basic function, there is nothing provided by Power BI which can give you a function of subtraction of one column from other. But there is one column which gives you summation of two or more than two columns. So I'll right click, I'll click on the sum. But as a computation, the gross profit always comes as sales minus cost of sale. So for doing so, there is a trick. The trick is you simply come here and put the minus. Since it's a M language, you can play with it. You will press enter. Now it is a reduction of cost of sale from the sales. You will rename it. You will call it as gross profit. Accordingly, you will do the sum total of all your showroom cost, which is your other admin cost, your salary, your rent, your depreciation. You will right click, you will click on the sum, and you will call it your total showroom. After you got your gross profit, you got your showroom cost, you can compute your net profit. Again, you will click, you will select both of this column, you will click on the sum, and you will come to the formula bar, you will plug in the minus sign there, and you will press enter. This is your net profit. After doing so, you need to again bring all these headers into single column as we did in this step. The same step we are going to apply right now also. I'll select all these columns from sales to net profit. I'll right click, I'll click on unpivot only selected columns. Now you can see it has other calculated fields also, which never comes in your trial balance. This is the only way of computing or preparing the P&L in the Power BI and the Power Query through the Power Query route. Now I'll call it as my PL line item. This is my year and this is my value column. Now I'll simply close and load. After doing so, I just need to bring this in tabular form. I'll bring my value, I'll bring my year, and this is my table and this is my matrix. I'll click on the matrix and so that I can show you the year on year numbers. Only thing is you cannot see this being in the sequence as the P&L should be. Your sales comes at the first row and then the cost of sale. The third row will be your gross profit. For doing so, we need to make a sequence column which will come from other table. So I already prepared one separate reference file where I'm keeping two tables. One is for your month, for bringing the sequencing of month as per your requirement, and other is for your P&L line item. So if you'll see, in front of sales I'm keeping A, and in front of cost of sale I'm keeping B, and so on. So I'll load these two tables in my Power BI, and accordingly based on these separate columns I will give the sequencing of the P&L line item. So again, selecting the particular Excel file, selecting my month table which looks like this, and selecting my PL table which looks like this. As a practice, always click on the transform data, and now just close and load. For P&L, it doesn't make sense of showing the total column either in the row or in the column. So we will just simply untick this. We'll come here in the subtotal row, subtotal section, click on untick this on section in the row subtotal and column subtotal. I will again unclick this. Now until here everything is okay, but few of the things cannot be done here. You cannot show the increase decrease versus last year. You cannot show the increase decrease against the budget. So we need to do few of the things first. Before doing so, I'll just need to bring this in the sequence. I'll go to the Power Query. I'll come here in the home section, click on the merge. I'll select my PL line item, and this is my other table from where I need to bring the sequence column, which comes from my PL table. I'll select this column. So it's saying there is 100% match. So whatever the records are there in this table, which is my actual table, and this is my reference table, all the records have matched. I'll click on OK. Then there is this icon, I need to click this, and I will select the particular column which I want to bring from the other table. My other table includes the PL line sequence, and which I will just simply bring from that table. I'll untick this, I'll click on OK. Similarly, I will merge the month table also. My other table which is having my month with their sequence. This is useful where in case your fiscal year starts from July, you can keep July as 1. If it starts from August, you can keep August as 1. After doing so, I'll click on close and load, close and apply. I'll come here, I'll select my main table, I'll select the PL line item and sort by column. It means based on which column you want to basically sort this particular column which you selected. I want to give the sequencing based on PL line sequence. Same goes for my month. I want to sort this based on the month sequencing. So here my sales comes as first record, cost of sale, gross profit and other expenses, followed by showroom cost and then the net profit. Now I'll make a measure. For as a practice, for before creating any measure, I make a separate dummy table to club all the measures into that particular table only. So for that, I'll click on this enter data. I'll name it as measure table. and I'll click on load. You will come here, open this measure table and start creating the new measures. So right now what I am going to do is, this is right now the value is coming from a particular column which was there in my raw data. I'll break that value column into multiple sections. What I mean to say, I'll make a column for 1920, 2021 and 2021 budget. Using those three measures, I will compute the budget achievement, I will compute the year-on-year growth. Accordingly, the growth in percentage and achievement in percentage. So the very first measure will be your 1920. So I'll click on the new measure. I'll call it as 1920 actual, which will be your uh, but before that, let me just make a one simple measure which will be just replica of the value column, which I'll name as amount, which I'll use as sum value. So what this formula is saying, basically do the sum of the column which is in the PL data table and the column name is value. I'll press enter. So I'll just make a copy of this visual so that you will get to see what exactly I'm about to do and you can compare with the original table. I'll bring some border to this table and here as well. So my very first column is my amount. So my very first measure is my amount measure. I'll take out the value, so you will see it's exactly the same. Now my next measure will be my 1920 year. This will be my calculate amount filter PL data PL line item, sorry, my year equal to 1920 underscore actual. So what exactly this formula is saying? Basically, I am breaking the amount column which is having multiple years, and I am just only keeping my 1920 out of that column. So filter is helping me to select a chunk of the amounts which relates to 1920 only. I'll press enter. So I'll bring it here. Exactly matching with my 1920 actual. I'll simply copy this formula and make it 2021 actual. Similarly, I'll make the 2021 budget also. You will come to know what is the use of creating the measure for each and every year. Because as I told you, it will help me in making the budget achievement column and year-on-year growth. I'll make all these in, I'll take out the fraction out of these amounts. I'll select the measure, I'll click on comma, and I'll make the decimal into 0. So it's an absolute number. So once this much is done, I have deleted the original table. Now I will create the measure for budget achievement and year-on-year growth. So I'll click on new measure, my budget achievement will be my actual minus budget. I'll bring it here in the table, take out the fraction out of it. I'll make percentage, budget achievement percentage. will be my actual divided by budget, and I'll bring it into percentage format. Same way, I will make year-on-year growth. It will be my actual minus last year. I'll take out the fraction and then year-on-year growth in percentage. It will be my actual divided by last year minus 1. Again, I will make into percentage format. I'll just put the columns into sequence. So here is my actual, its corresponding budget, achievement against the budget in value, in percentage, my last year column, my year-on-year growth, and my percentage growth. Now you can make it as fancy as you want to. You can put n number of colors and formatting. You can bring other slicer. For example, I have the country, which I can bring into slicer, or you can call it filter, or I can bring my product as a slicer. So depending upon which product you are selling, you can see its profitability. I will change the look of this slicer and accordingly for my country slicer. So now the next thing which I'll do, I will bring the conditional formatting. For the records, by record I mean to say for the P&L line item as well as for the particular column. For example, if my sales is increasing versus last year, it should be as green, and if it is decreasing, it should be red. Accordingly, for the expenses, if it is increasing, it should be red, and if it is decreasing, it should be green. This is not provided by the Power BI as the basic feature or add-on feature. This is not available at all. So with this thing we can achieve through few of the additional measures. So for that purpose, I'll again go to my reference table and I'll make one separate column. This column I am making to identify which of the lines in the P&L are revenue lines and which are the lines which are expense lines. So accordingly, I am giving the header as revenue slash, you can say, expense. So in front of revenue lines, I will put 1, which is my sales, and for expense lines, I will put 2. It will be 1, salary will be 2, rent will be 2, depreciation will be 2, or this is not a line at all in the record. My other admin cost will be 2, my showroom cost will be 2, my net profit will be 1. This is going to help me in defining the nature of this particular P&L line item and accordingly conditional formatting based on their growth. So I'll come here, I'll save this file, I'll come here, I'll click on refresh all. I'll come here in my data. I'll click on query, edit query. I'll come here and you can see in this tab, I will bring the other column which I need. Let me see if it is taking the data. Let me save it again and click on the refresh. Now here it is. I'll come here. I'll come on this particular tab. I'll bring the other column as well. Now here you can see this particular column. I'll change the nature of this particular column into number, whole number. I'll click on close and apply. Now what I'll do, I'll use another measure which will be my, for the purpose of putting the color into year-on-year growth column. So this I will name as revenue expense color, which will be values in column period data. I'll bring it here for now, which I'll take out later on. I just brought it here just so that I can show you in front of sales it's coming as 1, in front of cost of sale it is coming as 2, in front of GP gross profit again 1, and net profit again 1. So I'll use this column to put the conditional formatting for year-on-year growth. If revenue column equal to 1, and for my year-on-year growth is exceeding 0. If this condition is satisfied, then I need pen. Pen I'll be using for showing as green. Else, if my revenue expense is equal to 2 and my year-on-year growth less than 0, then 10. And 10, else 20. What exactly this formula is saying? So I'll just read this formula again. So what I am trying to say, if my revenue expense line is 1, which is in front of my revenue lines, and my year-on-year growth is greater than 0, which means positive, then only show as 10. 10 denotes my green color. If my revenue expense is 2 and my year-on-year growth is less than 0, then it will show as 10. Okay. Now I'll press enter. I'll bring it here, this particular column. So we'll see only in front of 1 it will be 10. Sorry, wherever there will be increase in the revenue it will be 10, and if it is expense, for example salary, if it is decreasing then it will show as 10, which again means my green color. So after doing this measure, I'll come to this brush sign icon. I'll come to conditional formatting. I'll select my year-on-year growth. I'll click on this font color. I'll click on advanced color. I'll come here, click here as rules. I'll select my color, which is my year-on-year color. I'll say if my color is 10, then show as green, or if it is 20, then show as red. See, so if my sales, which is my revenue, is increasing, then it is green. If my cost of sale, which is my expense line, is increasing, then it is red. But if my expense line is decreasing, then it is green. Now this additional column which I created, I don't need these anymore. I can take them out. Accordingly, the same logic will be applicable for my budget achievement as well. And you can also highlight one particular line item also, which I'll just show you right now. First, let me just make it the style of this table into condensed. I'll just make header as with the background white and the font in black color. Same I'll do for the row headers. Again, with the same trick, what I'm going to do, for each and every line which I want to highlight, I'll just mention one particular line in front of particular number in front of that particular line, and for others I'll not mention anything. For example, I want to highlight the gross profit, I'll mention as 1. For showroom cost, I'll mention as 1. For net profit, I'll mention as 1. For others, I don't want to highlight. Let's say I'll name this header as highlight. I'll save it. I'll come here. I'll reach to my query editor. I'll come here, I'll click on this table, I'll refresh it. It shows me the other column which I created. I'll change the type into whole number. I'll again come to my actual table. I'll click on this setting icon. I'll bring that other line also. And I'll click on close and load. But first, let me just change the type of this column also, which is already there as whole number. I'll click on close and apply. Again, I'll make another measure based on which I'll highlight this particular P&L line item. And let's say I'll name that new measure as highlight PL line. Will be again my values and I highlight PL line. Just to show you, I'll again bring in this table. So only in front of the line which I want to highlight, it's showing as 1. So now what I'll do, I'll come to conditional formatting, my background color, if it is 1, then it should be, let's say, this color. So only those particular lines got highlighted. Same wise, I need to select each and every column and I need to highlight each and every line item. I'll again go to advanced color. I'll click on rules. I'll say highlight is 1, then show as this color. Same as I need to do for each and every column. It's a bit time consuming activity, but yeah, since these features are not provided by Power BI as basic feature or default feature, so we have this workaround. Using that, you can achieve the same look of the P&L which you achieve in your Excel files. So I hope you understand what I am doing and what you need to do when you will be preparing your P&L. So this extra column based on which we brought this conditional formatting on particular row, we can take it out. So yeah, overall, now you can see you can put n number of colors, you can put n number of background, or you can bring n number of visuals. You can do whatever you want to do. For example, you can bring let's say one graph, for which I'll just simply copy this table. I'll take out everything, and I'll just keep my current year's store, the top performing stores which are in top 10, let's say, or which are doing really good. I can keep those also here. I'll just simply select only sales, and I can bring my stores also. And I can make into graph. So here you can see my showroom number 78 is the one which made the highest sales. Now it's on you which kind of visuals you want to use and how you exactly want to show your numbers, and you can play with this report. So I think, yeah, for conceptual understanding, this is, I think, sufficient enough to work with. And I'll just end this video here. I think this has gone like really long. So I hope you liked it. Thank you so much.